Okay. So let me find you in here, Holly, real quick. Sure. Email.
Holly, for the purposes of our room, can we make Mr. Hannah larger?
What are you trying to say? I'm not large enough?
I'd say he's pretty large. Oh, there.
Give me just 1 second. I'm going to pin him.
Like a Macy's table.
I know.
That's way too large.
Oh,
Right.
I realized that sounded kind of funky
There you
after I
are.
said it.
There he is.
There we go.
it should stay that way.
Yes, okay.
Okay.
Well, now I'm just staring at my big old head.
Turn the volume.
Y'all are like,
You can.
all right, go. It's fine. I can hear you.
I accidentally pinned you for everyone instead of pin for us. You can pin us on your computer, just so you know.
Okay, I have no idea what you're talking about. But all right.
I think it's
the
his
concept of the Macy's Day Parade thing is just.
Mr. Hannah, turn your volume up.
Can we
Say
hear
that
you?
again.
Turn your volume up, please.
How do I do that, Holly?
I don't think it's him.
It's not him, it's us. Give me just 1 second.
It's not you, it's us.
Testing, testing. Can you say something, Mr. Hannah?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Oh. That definitely was.
All right.
Sorry,
Is
we
that
just
any-
saw the new camera.
Those are
That's the right one.
the speakers. If the volume isn't.
Question, do we, are we voting? We're not voting, we're voting to bring this to.
We're making a,
We're
we're making,
making a recommendation.
Okay. Superintendent Hannah, will you test your volume one more time?
Good morning. How are you?
oh,
That's
sound
perfect.
great. What's up?
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome.
Okay. Second. Good morning and welcome to the Children's Services Council of Leon County's Finance and Budget Committee meeting. It is 11:10 and we are we're live. Holly, are you the one, Mr. Fail, if you would do a roll call for me?
Ms. Richards?
Here.
Mr. Johnson?
Here.
Superintendent Hannah?
Remotely here.
Mr. Jones? Chair Mitchell?
Here.
You have an in-person quorum.
And for purposes of committee meetings, does the same rule apply
Yes.
that if someone is going to? So if I could, so that we can include Mr. Hannah in this meeting and record his vote accordingly, if I could get a motion. Thank you.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to allow Superintendent Hannah to join remotely. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Show that motion adopted. Mr. Hannah, welcome to the meeting officially. Let's see. Approval
The
of,
agenda we should have on there. It's.
Okay,
it's nothing, but we need to,
okay,
Mr. Chair, if we
yeah,
can.
let's, yeah,
Trying to see. where
let's
we-
do,
Let's make it 2B. Approval of the agenda.
okay, so we're gonna make 2B the approval of the agenda and then a approval of, we didn't have a meeting in November. It's approval of November. Is that the
It was
minutes?
the agenda.
It's the.
Okay,
oh,
so,
that should
so
be
3
agenda.
is,
That's what it is.
yeah.
Okay.
Approval of the agenda.
Thank you.
Or apologies for that.
So we have an agenda that we need to get approved. There is a typo in item 3. So if I could get a motion to approve the agenda with that that amendment, that correction. Motion by Ally.
Second.
Thank you. I have a motion by Ms. Richards, a second by Mr. Johnson. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Without objection, show it approved. Are there any public comments?
There's no public comment.
Very good. Item 5 is a review of the financials. Here's what we're going to do on, I'm going to turn it over to Mrs. Green, but I want to point out a couple of things.
There's no public comment.
Very good.
Sorry.
Item 5 is a review of, I've heard that before. The financials for year end, Mr. Grayson isn't here to present those, and I think we need to have a deeper dive into the financials. So here's what I am proposing, and I've asked Mr. McPhail to work with me on getting a date in January where we can have a workshop. So if you can't make it, not a big deal, but where we can dive a little bit deeper. Just so you all know, I have on a regular basis met with Dina Snyder and Mr. Grayson and gone through all of the budgets so that when, Mr. Hanna has asked me a question of, do we have that money? I have an answer for you that's honest and incredible. I'm still comfortable where we are, but I don't have it down to the penny. And so I want to workshop it so that I'm not the only one with that information. And I'll include everyone in the Budget and Finance Committee to be included in that workshop. But we don't need a quorum. If you can't make it, it's okay. But then when we do have the next Finance Committee, I'll report back to everyone what came out of that workshop. And I think it will become very, very clear. We're in good financial condition, but there are several different items that are going on in this world. The county just voted yesterday about something that could impact additional funding needs from the CSC. You have the Florida legislature dealing with property taxes. You have Mr. Watts's committee that is dealing with our strategic plan. And all of this is going to come together and everyone's going to have that very common question. Do we have the money? And we'll have a better answer for everyone. And with that, Sika, can you just kind of walk us through the numbers that you have? Yeah.
Sure. So in the packet is our balance sheet and our income to expense report, as well as our profit and loss. And this is current as of the end of November. As Mr. Mitchell mentioned, we did not have a Finance and Budget Committee meeting in October, and we had an early Governing Council meeting in October. And so we still need to get the year-end financials, and we will have those by our meeting next week on the 18th. Keep in mind that CSC Leon runs on a fiscal year, October 1 to September 30. So every October 1, our finances turn over, our budget turns over. So if you look at the balance sheet, you can see where we are as far as assets. And this also includes our accounts that are with FL class. And so you'll see that in total, we have about $11.5 million there. When we do our total checking and savings, we've got $12,765,844.42. We've got our other current assets there, our grants paid in advance, other receivables, prepaid rent. And so when you get down to all of our assets, we're at $13,650,000 and then the change. And then when you add in our security deposit, which was back when we first got the lease for our building, our total assets, $13,656,398.67. And then our liabilities are all listed there. So our total liability, 13 million, I don't know why I keep saying thousand, 656,398 and change. You will not see a lot of expense yet because it's really only for the months of October and November. When you look at the percentage of the budget, we are still well within our percentages. The largest percentage you will see expended is our insurance. We do pay that at the beginning of every fiscal year, and that insurance has been paid. So you'll see that that is 77% of the line item expense there. Other than that, there's not a whole lot to report because we haven't gotten into this fiscal year very deeply yet.
Gotcha.
With that, though, we will schedule the workshop for January. We will do the deep dive. And while we normally run a month behind, you will have complete up-to-date financials as of the day before the workshop.
That's fantastic. Are there any questions for Lucina? Okay, all right. If I can get a motion to accept the financials as it was stated by Ms. Green.
Motion to move approval of the November financials.
Thanks, Brent.
Second.
Second, thank you, Ally. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Show the adoption of the review and accepted. The FL class investment.
So actually, the FO class investment report is shown
Sort of
here
in-
in the financials,
but,
yes. We did not print off the actual statements from FL class, but they do contort with what you see on the balance sheet. If you look under 1003 FL class, so our catastrophe, contingency, our general, and our program. So those are consistent with where we were as of November.
Good, and that will all, as part of the workshop, show
Yes.
in income and sort of what we can project as well. Again, depending on what, as we spend down, there's less to invest. And interest rates are changing pretty dramatically. Very good, so a funded programs update. Yes, Mr. Johnson.
Just a question that I would carry over to the workshop is, I think, I know I have, and I think the superintendent has also asked questions. When I look at that cash balance predominantly in the FL class accounts, it's got breakdowns between catastrophe, contingency, general, and program. I would like to understand what of that balance is actually contractually committed as approved by the council, contractually committed. And then I know there is a soft number that I don't consider contractually committed that occasionally gets referred back to before I was on the council where commitments were made. And for example, funding FRC expansion, where those numbers fall so that everyone can get a clear picture of our official commitments contractually committed as distinguished from those that are what I consider wannabes. So,
Yes, sir. So what we'll do is we will take the program spreadsheet. So the program spreadsheet shows what was contracted and covered and spent. We will cross-reference that with what's in our accounts. So when you see in the workshop, you will see exactly what's been awarded, not necessarily distributed yet, and what is actually available.
And I think, Mr. Johnson, you correct me if I'm wrong, but there's sort of two versions of award. There is the general award, and then there's a specific award that is directly contracted. We have a signed contract, and that's, I think, where.
yeah.
Right,
Signed contract, and I understand the contracts say subsequent to future funding coming in. But there's always this gray area that gets referred to back to what before I was on the council, that was agreed in some manner that I don't consider a contractual obligation that we would fund. It's the what we have contractually done versus that area, which is more gray to me, which is, it's not under contract yet, and it's subject to performance and the availability of funds. I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you. Item 7 is the RFQ for banking, and just to sort of set this up, and I'm gonna, I think, turn this over, Holly, to you to give a summary, but I had asked, before Holly gives the summary, just be thinking about this, everyone to look at the four.
I'm gonna interrupt you only because you skipped item 6 and I wanted to make sure you did that on.
Oh, I'm sorry, I did not mean to skip it. Funded programs.
Okay.
So it's item 6.
So Ms. Snyder is.
I'm not setting up the RFQ just yet.
Is out, but you should have your spreadsheet of our funded programs categorized for family well-being, kindergarten readiness, and youth success. You can review that. I'm not gonna go through all of these, but you can review that and see where we are as far as what's been contracted, what's been encumbered, what's been distributed, and what is left. So please review that, and if you have questions, please let me know.
And this ties in, it's kind of why when I looked at it, I skipped over it because I thought this will be an integral part of that budget workshop because it drives everything. Very nice, thank you. Which brings us to item 7, and that is the RFQ for banking. Holly, can you just set this up in terms of explaining why we have an RFQ, why it's important that we have a decision on our choice of a bank, hopefully by prior to the end of the calendar year, and get us in a posture to begin to discuss this.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Chair. So we received notification that the bank that we are currently with, Prime Meridian, was going through a merger with a different institution or credit union. And while that credit union is identified on the list of qualified public depositories, it is not eligible to hold local government money, to which our tax revenue that we receive is. Based on that, and a desire just for due diligence and making sure that we're being good fiscal stewards of the taxpayer dollars, we prepared, we first did a preliminary, just kind of outreach to find out like what the market for new banking services could look like. And then we prepared a more formal RFQ that was released before the holidays with a due date of, I believe, November 20th to receive responses back. We did receive responses from 4 banking institutions. Every entity that is identified by the Office of Financial Regulation as a qualified public depository with at least one brick and mortar location in Leon County was sent a personal email asking for a response. And again, we received 4 responses. Those were distributed to members of the Finance and Budget Committee. And one of the kind of items that we put out there was for any member of the Finance and Budget Committee, should they have a question regarding any of the responses, to please submit those so that I could attempt to get clarification in advance of this meeting. So the 4 responses that we received are the last page in your packet today: Capital City Bank, Mid-South Bank, Service First, and TC Federal. Of those 4, we did receive 2 questions regarding those responses. And if you give me just a moment, I'll share the questions. One question had to do with the proposal from Service Bank. They had indicated an interest rate, but did not determine how that interest rate was calculated. Upon further clarification by the responder, they said that they would that it's based on the federal rate that is set. So if the Fed rate goes down by 0.25%, then their money market rate would go down accordingly. And they're estimating at about an 81% of whatever that Fed rate is, was the response for that one. The second question that was asked, and I unfortunately don't have an answer for immediately, but Sika may be able to respond to it, has to do with being able to compare, if I understand the question correctly, is being able to compare the rates that we currently pay with Prime Meridian, for fees and such, compared to what was in the proposal. And so if Sika, if you happen to know that, you can respond to that. And then a couple of the members said that they might have additional questions here today.
So with Prime Meridian, we weren't paying any fees. And I can only assume that's one of the reasons that my interim predecessor went with them. So we were not paying any fees to have our funds there. We had two accounts, business checking and business money market. There are fees associated with wiring, which we never did.
Right.
But there are no fees associated with holding the funds.
The issue with Prime Meridian, and Holly, you're exactly right. Prior to being alerted by Prime Meridian that they were not going to be able to be our bank, I had asked, just as sort of a due diligence process, that we perform this. This is a little quicker, but it does, the timing is less important. The money we receive from banks for holding our money is important. And it's important to me because in addition to receiving public tax dollars, property tax dollars, we then hold those dollars and can generate income like what we do at FL Class. The bank accounts that we hold, both the money market and the regular checking account, also can generate interest, and it really does make an impact over time. And Prime Meridian did not offer the most attractive. I think they would have as part of this process if they stayed on. And I certainly am not being critical of that bank. It's a great bank. Nonetheless, this process has, at least in my overview, I looked at all four of them, and I'm going to get to everyone in terms of, hey, look at these four. The issue of fees, if anybody charged fees, then you should reduce it from whatever the interest rate that they gave us. Yeah, so a bank should not charge fees. When you hold $800,000 of someone's money and you're a bank, here's what a bank does. They hold on to that money, and overnight they're making money on your money. And they're making money on the ability to loan people. So if you go in to buy a house and someone says their mortgage rate is 7%, that bank is making 7% on it, but they're only paying us 1% or 2% or 3%. And that difference is how they pay their employees and what have you, and how they make profit. You want to get as close to the federal rate as you possibly can, because that's the true cost of borrowing money for these banks. So I lay that out to say it's important that we take a close look at this, and we understand that we are going to generate more money, I hope, depending on the will of the committee. And it is a recommendation that we're making to the full council. The council has asked us to take a look at it, look at these proposals, and bring back a recommendation. So what I asked Holly to do is have each one of the board, the committee members, take a look at the four proposals and come ready with, hey, if I were making the decision all on my own, which one would I go with? And I'm going to tell you that I looked at these four. I felt like, Santa. I checked my list. I checked it twice, and I checked it 5 times. And I'm just going to say that 2 of them came right to the top, and that is services. Why I do this each time? Service first and Mid-South. And then when I looked at those 2, I looked at the interest rate. And the The interest rate that Mid-South offered was 75% of the overnight Fed rate, which is 4% currently, which gets us to 3%. And the offer that Service First made was 3.25%. Mine was the question about, well, that's great. On day one, you offer us, 3.25%. What do you offer us on day two or day three, or whatever whimsy you decide? Well, Holly was able to find out that one, they are going to do their very best to keep us at 3.25, and two, it would always be at a minimum 0.81%. Is that what you just read?
81%.
Right, or 0.81 of the Fed rate. So just from them, and the fees are comparable. So I say, for me, and I'm going to go around, that's the rationale that I used to get it down to the 2, and then and my vote is for First.
Service First.
Service.
I don't know why I have the damnedest time with that name. Service First. Okay. Ms. Richards.
I agree with a lot of your sentiment. I have a question. Was Service First the only bank to offer no fees?
Mid-South did.
Yeah, Mid-South didn't have to sign it.
Didn't have these.
Say that a little louder, say it again.
I asked if Service First was the only one that didn't offer fees.
Theirs was a wiring fee, I believe.
Yeah, they had
I've
a,
got Mid-South up and they've got some corporate sweep, $10.
That's what I saw.
Fairly, it's de minimis.
yeah, no, it's not a lot, but that was what drove me to Service First originally, because they were able to offer no fees. Additionally, their following of our conversations on the board is obviously a green flag to me. They're following the Children's Services Council far before we were discussing banking. So I want to hear the conversation around the different banks, but yes, the no fees was I agree with a lot of what you said, Chair Mitchell. The no fees was, I think, very important when we're talking about putting our money into the amount of money we have and putting into that.
Mr. Hannah.
Yeah, I would say as far as a proposal, I agree that seemed to be the best proposal to me as well. I don't know a lot about that institution, quite honestly. I've never heard of them. Where is their branch locally? Do y'all know the physical location?
Yes.
It is.
And I have learned a lot about them since these started to come in terms of others that look like us that they are currently serving. Where is the?
They are on Hermitage Boulevard. Oh. Right off of Capitol Circle.
Okay.
Like you can see.
Oh, by the
from
SBA
Capitol
and
Circle.
Treasury.
So that is their brick and mortar requirement to participate in this, that one location on Hermitage? Okay, all right, look, I agree. I think all in all, that was the best proposal for us financially. And if they're qualified, they meet all of the government requirements to hold our money. So I'm fine with that institution.
Okay, and Mr. Johnson.
Yeah, I had a couple of questions that in my mind are pivotal. One is trying to better understand the nature of how our collections come in. Are they coming in by ACH from the county? And then second, how the majority of our disbursements go out, whether they're by check or ACH outbound. And then there's certain fraud protection controls that most banks are now offering But some of them are easier to use. Some of them actually have it where someone can, like, daily I get certain transactions that I need to look at to release, even if they're a manual check, before my bank will release them. And so to me, there's an operational ease of use on the features and functionalities that our staff or Mr. Grayson have to interact with daily. So I think the conversation that Mr. Mitchell and Ms. Richards had and the superintendent are spot on in terms of features, functionality, the interest rates that we get on idle cash is big, but I think at least conceptually, as I'm thinking of a recommendation, it would be more of a subject to validation by either Mr. Grayson or Ms. Snyder about key functionality, like whether their bill pay system or any of their fraud controls or anything that I don't have visibility to that makes this transition operationally efficient for them, so we're not going backwards.
So if I may, Mr. Chair.
Yes. Go ahead.
So we do receive deposits from the tax collector. I had to think because it's tax collector on property of right. We receive those ACH and then they give us the statement showing us the revenue that came in, the fee that's charged, and the deposit that goes directly into our checking account. We use a system called bill.com because the statute requires that the chair must approve any disbursements and then the executive director must approve those disbursements. So we do not do direct bill pay from the bank. Our bill.com account is connected to the bank, and Mr. Grayson manages that with my ability to go in and approve the expenditure. And then it goes to our chair to approve the expenditure. Then it comes back to Mr. Grayson, who then releases those funds.
So you may create a batch of 25 payments that need to go out the door. The summary of that batch gets circulated. Is bill.com sending out a manual check out to?
It depends on what the vendor wants.
So bill.com could ACH out, but that's transparent to us.
And they do mostly
If it's a
ACH.
$25,000 batch and it's gotten all the approvals, then how does bill.com sweep that money out of our bank into their pocket?
It comes out.
ACH?
Right, ACH.
Okay.
And then bill.com for the most part does ACH. The vendors set up an account once they are approved through us and got us.
Makes total sense.
All that stuff. If for some reason they want a manual check, bill.com can do that.
And that all makes total sense to me, and that correlates also back to the couple of proposals that we're looking at that don't have fees. We wouldn't be getting death by 1,000 duck bites by transactions that
I've never heard that.
I haven't
I was repeating that in my head, like.
I've heard death by 1,000 cuts. I've never heard death bites, but I'm going to use it.
I like that.
big teeth.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't want that.
I may not give you credit for.
I'm sorry. Anyway, so those are my questions, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
Did I answer?
Yes, I'm.
Okay.
It's funny, each one of us kind of approached it from a different subject area as part of the whole proposal. Mr. Jones is not able to be here, but has shared with Sika that he is supportive of the will of the rest of the committee. Again, this is a recommendation we're bringing to the full board. And we'll say it sounds like we're sort of all on the same page. As chair, I am not able to make a motion, but I would ask one of you to make a motion.
I make a motion to recommend the source.
Very nice. With, if I could, with the caveat of the response that we got back from Alex. I'm gonna get everybody's name right in that organization of hoping they keep it at 3.25%. which was his full response, but always keeping it within 0.81 of, or 81% of the federal rate.
And if you'd like me to read it for the record,
Yes.
I'm happy to, and I can also
And
provide.
that
it
will
to
be
you in writing.
part of Ms. Richards' motion.
Yes. So when we do change money market rates, it's typically equal to the amount a Fed rate change would be. So if the rate drops 0.25%, that's usually how much our rates change. Although for new relationships like this, we try to hold the rate steady through an early rate change. If it helps, we will set the rate equal to a percentage of the Fed funds rate. Right now, the FF rate is 4%, so we can do approximately 81% of the FF rate, putting it around our quoted rate of 3.25. That way, it would move in line with any rate change and not any more than that.
And this is a contract for 1 year. If I remember correctly, that was with Service First is it's a 1 year contract, not a 2 year. So we will be able to see just how true Mr. Porter is to his. I'm giving them all new names. Much easier. Okay. Ms. Richards, is that okay
Yeah.
to amend it?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Wait, oh, I'm sorry.
Okay,
Yeah, I'll second. that.
okay, we have this, for purposes of discussion, Mr. Johnson, did you have a?
Yeah, the way I envision the motion, and this may require amendment, is that it's subject also to the satisfactory review of the features and functionalities that's being offered by our recommendation.
Very good, so that requires Sika, you and John to get with Alex of Service First and make certain that the functionality that you are currently enjoying is functionality that can be provided by Service First.
I
So-
accept that amendment, if that's an amendment.
Is that?
Amendment.
Okay,
I will
yes,
just offer one opinion.
yes, ma'am.
I will say that what I really, so I did read through all the proposals as well. Not that it's my decision, but I do agree with the recommendation for this to move to our council. The thing that I most appreciate is that we do not have to constantly go to their office. Everything can be done via their secure document portal, and that makes it nice when we have to turn over signers, because it does get cumbersome to have people go out. No offense to Prime Meridian. So we will get with Mr. Porter before our meeting on the 18th and ensure that the functionality is the same that you've enjoyed, if not better, with our.
If recognizing that today is the 11th, so 10, so that's 8 days.
I think we can do that.
Yeah, okay, yeah, and if you would just individually let each one of this committee know that you got a green light or we got a problem.
I'm sure.
Okay. I have no doubt that they're listening, so the phone is ringing. I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Show the motion adopted with a recommendation to the full council. The next meeting agenda will look very much like this one without an RFQ for banking services, and we will have had a workshop prior to that.
We hope.
We hope to have a
We hope.
workshop.
It may be afterward. We'll just have to see when it falls with the new year.
Okay, all right, and we'll try to do a quick doodle poll on that workshop.
So let me ask this question,
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Chair.
Sure.
We currently have the Finance and Budget Committee scheduled for January 7th. Would you be open to doing a shorter meeting and making that the workshop date, since we know it already works for all of the budget, the Finance and Budget Committee members?
Yes, I would be open. I just think that I would almost,
If you want it before the big
I
council
really-
meeting,
yeah.
that's my concern.
Okay, so when's the council meeting?
The council meeting is the following week on the 15th. And you can think about it and let us know.
Well, yeah, here's the reason I'm struggling, just so my fellow committee members. So much good nugget comes out of the meetings that I've had with John Grayson and Dina, that I don't want to say it drives a lot of what they bring forward as an actual finance committee. Well, let's do it this way, that if this is okay to everyone, let's just go ahead and keep the finance committee meeting on the 7th. Let's do everything we can to get as much information to us as possible. Mr. Grayson will be here for the meeting on the 18th and can give us a little bit more of a fuller version of the financials. We'll have the finance committee meeting on the 7th, and we'll have a full workshop where we can drill into it a little deeper after the 7th. So that for the March meeting, we will have a full view. I don't want to rush it because I don't want to rush it.
That's fine, and we could actually go ahead and look at February. That's one of the reasons we have that.
Is the workshop a finance and budget workshop?
Yes.
Okay.
Just basically a financial workshop for the council.
It just makes it so if for some reason somebody can't be here,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Is that okay with you, Mr. Superintendent?
Yeah, that's great.
Thank you, sir. Okay, committee member comments.
I don't
So
want
right-
to belabor. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Mr. Superintendent.
Be clear. So right now that meeting is scheduled for 1 p.m. on the 7th. Is that right, Holly?
Yes.
Or Trinity? Okay.
Yes,
All right. And we could expect it to be a little longer, I guess, then?
The meeting probably won't go longer because we won't have an RFQ, but the discussion of financials specifically will.
Right. Okay.
Mr. Johnson.
This probably should have come up under the RFQ for banking, but I'm just thinking, do we want to give Mr. Grayson and staff any latitude if the functionality in our first recommendation is not or causes some operational burden on them? Do we consider a second rank of that they could keep the ball rolling since we're on a short leash?
Good. So a good question. The first part of that statement went through my brain, knowing that the closing, which I know that Prime Meridian was sensitive to that. Technically, the closing isn't, we're trying to get this done by the end of the calendar year. It won't kill us if it rolls over, but it also wouldn't kill us to have a sort of a second place. I would be, very comfortable with, and I didn't ask people to come with their second place, but as Richard, so you were picking up, okay.
I don't feel that. I mean, a lot of that functionality is fairly standard, but I'm just, I go to pause when these things affect staff and Mr. Grayson operationally, to not have them say, I touched it, I felt it, I looked at it, and I see how it works for CSC.
Not comparing CSC to the other folks that they use, like I think the school board, they gave references, the school board insurance trust, but I also saw quotes from, folks throughout like
I believe they did Hope too, and they're in town. Or
Also-
Family Big Ben Promise,
yes,
and they're in town.
Family Promise, as well as Florida Alliance for Children's.
Yes, I saw that.
oh, that's right, the Michelle Wilson. Watson.
Yeah.
I
I'm
clearly
on the chair now, so I have.
Bad name.
be so good with names. I'm changing professions.
I would withdraw my comment on that because I think it just lends too much issue and not knowing why staff might decline it.
I also think that if we come back with, if the staff is uncomfortable, we have enough time
I'm good.
still to move the money. Okay. Any other any other comments from members? Hearing none, please show us adjourned at 11:52. And by the way, thank you so much for changing this meeting so that I can attend really a great public servant's funeral in Timor. Yeah, that guy changed law enforcement from Florida, and I was privileged to have him as my partners at the department. So